How it all started. Hi Reddit. I'm posting here because I honestly don't know where else to unload this, and therapy is expensive. Plus, my mom would just lie about everything anyway. Sorry in advance, this is going to be long and messy. I'm the older son in my family. I'm in my early 30s now, but this story started way back when I was a kid. Until I was about 7, we had what I'd call a functional family. Not warm, not loving love, but I existed and wasn't a problem. That already feels wild to say. My mom has always been sharp, like verbally sharp, the kind of person who says one thing, then later denies ever saying it with full confidence. Gaslighting before I even knew the word. My dad? Mostly background noise. His favorite roles were stay out of it, and you know how your mother is. Then my sister was born. And I swear to God, that's when the rules of the house quietly changed, except no one bothered to tell me. Suddenly everything revolved around her. Her needs, her feelings, her future. I wasn't abused in the dramatic sense. I was just slowly erased. And the unfairness didn't explode right away. Crept. Year by year. Comment by comment. Lie by lie. At the time, I didn't have the words for it. I just knew something felt off. Like I was standing in my own family, but slightly to the side. Like a guest who stayed too long. That's the context. The rest? That's where it gets ugly. The slow realization, aka, oh, it's me. For a long time, I thought I was imagining it. Kids do that, right? You assume you're being dramatic, ungrateful, whatever. That's what I was told, at least. But things started adding up in ways that were hard to ignore. It was small stuff at first. If my sister messed up, she's little, she didn't mean it. If I messed up, full interrogation. Raised voice. Lectures about how I should know better. She got comfort, I got responsibility. Always responsibility. Even as a kid. Then came the favoritism that wasn't even subtle. Birthdays where her gifts were expensive and thoughtful, and mine felt like last-minute guilt purchases. School events where my mom somehow forgot to show up for me, but would cancel work, plans, life itself for my sister. If I pointed it out, she'd deny it, flat out, or twist it into, "Why are you jealous of your own sister?" That word, jealous, became her favorite lie. The real punch to the gut came when I was about 13. I accidentally overheard my mom on the phone with a relative. She didn't know I was home. She laughed and said something like, "Well, you know how he is. He was always difficult. Not like my girl. My girl. Not my kids. Not them. Just her." I stood there, frozen, heart pounding, feeling stupid for not seeing it sooner. Because suddenly all those moments lined up. The dismissals, the constant comparisons, the way love felt conditional, like I had to earn air. That was the moment I realized. This wasn't in my head. I wasn't less loved because I did something wrong. I was less loved because I wasn't her favorite. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Confrontation. Asking the question you already know the answer to. I didn't confront them right away. I sat with it for years like an idiot, hoping things would magically balance out. Spoiler, they didn't. The actual confrontation happened when I was 17. One random evening. No big fight leading up to it, no dramatic setup. I just couldn't carry it anymore. My chest felt tight all the time, like I was constantly bracing for something. I asked my mom straight up, "Why do you treat me and my sister differently?" She didn't even pause. That's the part that still messes with me. No confusion. No reflection. Just instant defense. She laughed. Actually laughed. Then said I was imagining things. That I've always been sensitive. That I twist everything. According to her, she loved us equally, and if I felt otherwise, that was my problem. My dad jumped in with his usual greatest hit. "Don't start. You know your mother loves you." No examples. No reassurance. Just shut up and move on. I pushed back. Brought up specific moments. Birthdays. School stuff. The way she talked about me to others. That's when my mom flipped the script completely. Suddenly she was the victim. Tears. Dramatic sighs. Accusations that I was attacking her after everything she's done. And then came the lie that ended the conversation. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't have raised you. That was it. That was her explanation. Not love as care or warmth, just obligation. Like feeding a stray and expecting gratitude forever. I walked away feeling worse than before. Not relieved, not hurt, just confirmed in the most brutal way possible. Because when you confront someone who's been unfair to you, and they refuse to even acknowledge it, that's when you realize you're on your own. Emotional fallout, anger, grief, and learning to live with it. After that conversation, something in me snapped. Not loudly, not dramatically, more like a quiet break. The kind that changes how you see people forever. At first, I was furious, like white-hot anger. I replayed every moment in my head, every lie, every time I swallowed my feelings to keep the peace. I wanted to scream at my mom, to force her to admit it, to say something real for once. I didn't, obviously. I just carried it around and let it rot inside me. Then the anger burned out and turned into sadness. Heavy, exhausting sadness. I mourned a version of my childhood that never existed, parents who noticed me, who chose me without conditions. I watched my sister get hugged, defended, protected, while I learned how to be strong, because no one was coming. The worst part? I started blaming myself. Maybe I really was difficult. Maybe if I were quieter, smarter, easier, maybe then I'd be enough. That thought messed me up for years. It followed me into friendships, relationships, work. I kept waiting to be replaced. Over time, I stopped expecting anything from my parents. No emotional support, no validation. I told myself I didn't need it anyway. That independence became my armor and also my loneliness. I accepted their version of reality on the surface, but inside I knew the truth. And that truth hurt, but it also did something else. It made me determined to build a life where love wasn't rationed. I didn't know it yet, but that decision would later make my parents very uncomfortable. My sister married a guy from college, and I became the backup plan. When I was 20, my sister got married. Not to me, let's be very clear, but to a guy she met in college. They'd been dating for a while, and from the outside, everything looked normal. Cute couple, supportive parents, big smiles in photos. But even then, there were cracks. He wasn't working. No job, no real plan, just vague ideas about finding himself and not rushing into the wrong career. My parents ate that up, especially my mom. She defended him the way she never defended me as a kid. The wedding was expensive, emotional. My mom cried happy tears. My dad gave speeches. Everyone showed up. I was there too, quiet, helpful, carrying boxes, fixing things last minute. The role I trained for my whole life. What stood out wasn't what they did for my sister. It was what they never did for me. No support when I struggled. No pride when I succeeded. Just silence. And yet, right after the wedding, I felt it. That familiar shift in energy. Like I was being repositioned. Pregnancy, pressure, and rewriting history. Not long after the wedding, my sister got pregnant. Everyone panicked, but not about money. Not about stability. Not about the unemployed husband. No, they panicked about comfort. About making sure my sister didn't stress. My parents stepped in immediately. Financial help, emotional support, constant presence. Meanwhile, I was finally doing okay in life. Not rich, just stable. And apparently that made me dangerous. My mom started dropping comments. You're doing really well now. You're so independent. You could help out a little. Little never meant little. Then came the lies. The big ones. She told me they had always supported me. That they sacrificed so much so I could succeed. She said it with a straight face like she actually believed it. My dad backed her up. He always did. You turned out strong because of us. No, I turned out strong because I had no other choice. But suddenly, my success was framed as a family investment. And now it was time for returns. The slow trap, and how I almost fell into it. Here's the part I'm ashamed of. I almost accepted it. Years of conditioning kicked in. The guilt, the fear of being the bad son, the voice in my head asking, what if they're right? I started helping. Money, errands, babysitting, emotional labor, fixing problems no one asked the husband to fix. Every time I hesitated, my mom would remind me how disappointed she was. You've changed. I didn't raise you like this. Family doesn't abandon each other. Funny how family only applied when they needed something. My sister never pushed back. She never said, "This isn't fair." She just accepted it, like it was normal, like this was how things were always meant to be. One night, I sat alone, staring at my bank account, heart racing. I realized I was becoming the safety net not by choice but by manipulation. And that terrified me, the explosion I stopped preventing. The next time my mom brought it up, I didn't soften my tone. She talked about sacrifice, about duty, about how my sister was struggling. And then she said the sentence that broke everything. "You owe her. You succeeded because of us." Something snapped. I told her the truth. Not gently, not politely. I said I built my life alone. That I didn't owe my sister or her husband my money, my time, or my future. Then I said what everyone avoided. Her husband is an adult. If they need money, he can get a job. The room went dead quiet. Then chaos. My mom accused me of being cruel and jealous. My dad told me to calm down. No one addressed the actual problem. So I drew the line. No more help. No more guilt. No more lies. And I meant it. Punishment disguised as concern. They didn't accept my boundaries. They punished me instead. Cold silence. Passive-aggressive messages. Relatives suddenly calling to check in. My mom telling people she was worried about me. Painting me as unstable, selfish, changed. My sister disappeared emotionally. No defense. No conversation. Just distance. That hurt. But it also showed me the truth. I wasn't valued as a person. I was valued as a resource. Choosing boundaries over approval. I didn't go no contact. I went controlled contact. No money talk. No emotional manipulation. No explanations. If my mom crossed a line, I ended the call. If my dad minimized things, I disengaged. Felt wrong at first, like I was betraying someone. But then my anxiety dropped. I slept better. I stopped bracing for impact. They tried last-minute tactics, sudden kindness, selective apologies, memory rewriting. I didn't bite. Grieving the parents I never had. Standing my ground didn't erase the pain. I mourned parents who didn't exist. A family where love wasn't conditional. A mother who didn't lie reflexively. A father who didn't disappear. But I understood something. Staying would have erased me. And I chose not to vanish for their comfort. Rebuilding a life without guilt. Without their pressure, I started discovering who I actually was. Calmer. More confident. Less apologetic. Every attempt to pull me back confirmed I was right to step away. Understanding the system. My mom controlled narratives. My dad avoided conflict. My sister benefited without questioning it. Once I saw the system, I stopped blaming myself. I wasn't difficult. I was inconvenient. Where things are now. Low contact. Polite distance. My sister's husband eventually had to face reality, without me cushioning it. I don't flinch when my phone rings. I don't feel guilty for having more. Final lesson, for anyone reading this. You don't owe your parents repayment for surviving them. You don't owe your siblings compensation for their choices. And you don't owe anyone access to your life just because they share your blood. Boundaries don't make toxic people respect you. They reveal who benefited from your lack of them. And that truth is freedom. If you want more stories, just subscribe.